is Robert Sanchez still Chelsea #1 goalkeeper? Enzo Maresca need to answer this. There is no way this guy deserves to be Chelsea #1 goalkeeper. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to the channel for my Premier League predictions. Game week 24. Game week 23 came with some shocking and interesting scoreline. AFC Bournemouth beating Nottingham Forest 5-0 was nothing but interesting. Ipswich Town 2 got beaten by Liverpool 4-1, which in that game I got a spot on predicted. And going to this game 24, I'm looking out for more spot on predictions. My name is Andy Finer. My like target for this video is just 50 likes. Like, comment your thoughts and your predictions at the comment section. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into the game week 24 predictions. Yeah, so to begin, the first game at the City Ground is between Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. In game week 23, the unbelievable, the unexpected happened. Nottingham Forest lost 5-0 against AFC Bournemouth, which going to that game, in game week 23, I predicted a 1-1 draw between AFC Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. But at the end of the day, Bournemouth won by 5-0 against Nottingham Forest, who is currently in the top 3. So going to that game, if somebody told you that the game was going to end 5-0 in favor of Bournemouth, no one could have believed it, but well, it happened. Looking at the other side of the coin, Brighton in game 23 also lost 1-0 against Everton in game 23, which I think that game too was shocking, because going to that game too, I predicted a 2-1 victory for Brighton, because Brighton going to that game, they were coming from a 3-1 victory over Manchester United. So I thought Everton could have been like a walkover game for Brighton, but well, they lost it. Yeah, so looking at the league table at the moment, Nottingham Forest is third on the Premier League table with 44 points, and Brighton at the moment, they are also ninth on the Premier League table with 34 points as it stands. So going to this game at City Ground in game week 24, Nottingham Forest versus Brighton is going to be an interesting tie to call. But going to this game, I'm predicting this game to end in a draw. I'm predicting Nottingham Forest 2, Brighton 2. Yes, moving on to the next game in game 24 is between AFC Bournemouth versus Liverpool. This is going to be an interesting game coming up in game 24, because Bournemouth has been on some good form going to this game against Liverpool, who is at the moment on top of the Premier League table with 53 points as it stands in game 23. But they still have one outstanding game that they will play against Everton. But well, Liverpool going to this game, they are coming from a 4-1 victory over Ipswich Town in game 23, which in that game I predicted it and I got it spot on predicted. AFC Bournemouth, as already said, got 5-0 against Nottingham Forest in game 23. So going to this game is going to be a tough game. Well, I'm going for the unthinkable. Even though Liverpool has been on some good form and they are now currently leading the Premier League table, I'm going for the unthinkable prediction. I'm predicting AFC Bournemouth to get a 2-1 victory over Liverpool. AFC Bournemouth 2, Liverpool 1. Oh yes, moving on to the next game at the Goodison Park is between Everton versus Leicester City. Going to this game in game 24 is going to be a tough and interesting game for both sides. Let's talk about Everton. Everton in game 23 got a 1-0 victory over Brighton, which I think it was a shocking result. Even though Brighton going to that game were coming from a 3-1 victory over Manchester United in their previous game, and Everton too lost their previous game. So going to this game, I thought it was supposed to be a walkover. But at the end of the day, Everton managed to get a 1-0 victory over Brighton in game 23. Looking at the other side of the coin, Leicester City also in game 23 got a beautiful 2-1 victory against Tottenham Hotspur in game 23. Which that one too, it was a shocking result. So two shocking results in game week 23. Coming up in game week 24 is going to be a tough tie to call. Everton versus Leicester City at Goodison Park in game week 24. My prediction for this game, I'm predicting this game to end in a 1-1 draw. Leicester City 1, Everton 1. So moving on to the next game is at the bottom is between Ipswich Town versus Southampton. 19th on the Premier League table versus 20th on the Premier League table. As it stands in game week 23, Ipswich Town they have 16 points as it stands in game week 23, and Southampton has 6 points as it stands in game week 23. So going to this game, it's a relegation fight between Ipswich Town and Southampton. It's obvious that this season Southampton is returning back to the championship, but going to this game in game week 24 is going to be a tough crash for both sides. In game week 23, Ipswich Town lost 4-1 against Liverpool, which I got it spot on predicted in game week 23. And Southampton too in game week 23 also lost 3-1 against Newcastle United in game week 23. So going to this game, I'm predicting Ipswich Town to get a 2-1 victory over Southampton. Ipswich Town to Southampton 1. Yes, so moving on to the next game at the St. James Park in game week 24 is between Newcastle United versus Fulham. In game week 23, Fulham lost 1-0 against Manchester United, and Newcastle United also got a 3-1 victory over Southampton in game week 23. Looking at the Premier League table, Newcastle at the moment, they are 5th on the Premier League table with 41 points as it stands in game week 23. Looking at the same league table to Fulham at the moment, they are also 10th on the Premier League table with 33 points as it stands in game week 23. Into this game, I'm calling for an interesting scoreline. I'm predicting a 4-2 victory for Newcastle United. Newcastle United for Fulham 2. Moving on to the next game is between Wolves versus Aston Villa. Wolves lost 1-0 against Arsenal, which I think that game was interesting. In that game, both Arsenal and Wolves got a red card in that game. So they 10 against 10, which I think it was an interesting game. Most people were questioning that the red card that was given to the Arsenal player wasn't a red card. But to me, I think the referee got it was 50-50. He could have decided not to give, but he decided to give. So he deserved it, and it was a red card, and it is what it is. And Aston Villa too in game 23 also got a 1-1 draw against West Ham United in game 23. Aston Villa at the moment, they're now 8th on the Premier League table with 37 points out of 23 games. Looking at Wolves, they are also 18th on the Premier League table with 16 points out of 23 games. Going to this game in game 24 is going to be a tough one, and to call this game, well, should I tip Aston Villa to get a win? Maybe, because Aston Villa at the moment, they are not on a good run. They are not winning games like they used to last season. But well, going to this game, I'm predicting Aston Villa to get a 2-1 victory over Wolves. Aston Villa 2, Wolves 1. Yeah, so moving on to the next game at the GTEC Community Stadium is between Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur. Looking at the Premier League table, Tottenham Hotspur at the moment, they are 15th on the Premier League table with 24 points as it stands in game week 23. This is shocking and unbelievable. A whole Tottenham Hotspur team who we used to count him among the top 6, now they are battling for 15th position. This is shocking. In game week 23, Tottenham Hotspur lost 2-1 against Leicester City. Well, I don't believe it. In that game, Tottenham Hotspur got the first goal through Richarlison and later on lost the game by 2-1 against Leicester City. Looking at the other hand of the coin too, Brentford in game week 23 also got a 2-1 victory in game week 23. Looking at the Premier League table, Brentford at the moment, they are 11th on the table with 21 points. So going to this game at GTEC Community Stadium in game week 24, I'm predicting this game to end in a draw. I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Yes, so moving on to the Old Trafford Stadium is between Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. In game 23, Manchester United managed to get a 1-0 victory over Fulham in game 23. Courtesy Lisandro Martinez. To me, I think so far this season he has been a standout player for Manchester United. I know at the moment United have a lot going on with the club, with Rashford trying to leave and everything. Man United trying to sell Garnacho and all stars going on at Old Trafford. But going to this game against Crystal Palace team, who also in game with 23 lost 2-1 against Brentford in game 23. I think this is going to be an exciting game at the Old Trafford in game 24. And if I have to go for a favorable scoreline, well, let's look at the league table. At the moment, Manchester United is 12th on the Premier League table, and Crystal Palace is also 13th on the Premier League table. 29 points for Manchester United, 27 points for Crystal Palace. So going to this game is going to be a tough one to call. As you know, if Man United is going to win, I'll tell you. And if they are going to drop points, I'm going to tell you. Looking at it clearly, I can see Manchester United is going to drop points in this game against Crystal Palace. And I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Either side can get a late winner and a win can go for both sides. But well, I'm predicting Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 1. Moving on to the next game is the game of the week at the Emirates Stadium is between Arsenal versus Manchester City. I know most people are not expecting this, but well, let's go into it. In game 23, Arsenal won 1-0 against Wolves in game 23. And Manchester City also got a 3-1 victory over Chelsea at the Etihad Stadium in game week 23. Looking at the Premier League table at the moment, Arsenal is now second on the Premier League table with 47 points out of 23 games. Manchester City at the moment, they are also fourth on the Premier League table with 41 points as it stands in game 23. Manchester City going to this game, they have a lot with new signings, which I think, let's talk about Mamouche. To be frank with you, I think this guy is a top player. And well, with time, he's going to play like Kevin De Bruyne. He's going to be that guy. Well, I'm happy for Manchester City as they were able to buy Mamouche because in their game against Chelsea, even though he didn't score in that game, but well, I saw his presence, I saw his runs. I think he's a good player who is going to help this Pep Guardiola side. Manchester City going to this game at the Emirates Stadium in game 24 is going to be a tough one to call. And well, you know me, I always try to get a big game spot unpredicted. And this one will not be an exception because I'm good with predicting tough games. You know me, bro. I've been doing it for days. I've been doing it for almost a year now with my spot on prediction in tough games. So, well, I think Arsenal is going to. Is Arsenal going to win? Is Manchester City going to win? At the moment, as I'm recording this video, I'm still not convinced who is going to win this game between Arsenal and Manchester City. Well, let me go for a tie game. I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Arsenal to Manchester City 2. Yes, so moving on to the last game in game 24 is between Chelsea versus West Ham United. This is a London derby. This is going to be an interesting game because Chelsea in their past 7 games in the Premier League, they've managed to get only 5 points out of 7 games. That's 5 out of 21. This is actually shocking and unbelievable. But well, looking at in game 23, Chelsea lost 3-1 against Manchester City. And West Ham United managed to get a 1-1 draw against Aston Villa in game week 23. Looking at the Premier League table at the moment, Chelsea is now sixth on the Premier League table with 40 points out of 23 games. Looking at West Ham United, they are also 14th on the Premier League table with 27 points out of 23 games. Going to this game at the Stamford Bridge is going to be a tough game. In the first leg, Chelsea managed to get a 3-0 victory at the London Stadium over West Ham United. And do I think there will be a difference in the second leg or second encounter? Maybe, yes, because it is what it is. Chelsea going into this game against West Ham, well, I think it's a tough one to call, but well, do I think West Ham is going to get the goal? Yes, West Ham is going to score because Chelsea defense hasn't been that good. And let me say one thing. Why is Robert Sanchez still Chelsea number one goalkeeper? Enzo Maresca need to answer this. There is no way this guy deserves to be Chelsea number one goalkeeper. See how he managed to concede these goals against Manchester City. So far this season, this guy has keep on making silly errors here and there, and still game in, game out, he still remains Chelsea number one goalkeeper. What is happening? Enzo Maresca, you have so many questions to answer about Robert Sanchez. If he is going to be the goalkeeper in Chelsea game against West Ham, then it's going to be obvious that Chelsea is going to concede in this game against West Ham. And going into this game at the Stamford Bridge, I'm predicting Chelsea to get a 2-1 victory over West Ham United. Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. I'm predicting Kudus Mohamed to score a goal against Chelsea. Moving on to the outstanding fixture at the Goodison Park is between Everton versus Liverpool. This is a derby game, and going to this game is going to be an interesting one. I know Liverpool are now leading the Premier League table, and the moment they win this game, they are going to extend it to 9 points difference. So going to this game says a lot. If Liverpool really want to win the league, this is a must-win game against Everton. And going to this game, I'm predicting Liverpool to drop points. I'm predicting Everton to get a shocking 1-0 victory over Liverpool. Everton 1, Liverpool 0. Yeah, so these are my predictions for Premier League game week 24. My name is Andy Fine. My like target for this video is just 50 likes. Like, comment your thoughts and your predictions at the comment section. Till we meet in another video. Wait. Hence, I will start uploading videos. Well, I know most of you don't know, I'm a Ghanaian living in Ghana and making videos from Ghana. Even though my competitors are in the United Kingdom, so I'm not getting enough views out there. So henceforth, I'll try and upload content that Ghanaians can relate. So please, if you're a foreigner or if you're in the United Kingdom and you see videos coming from this side, please try and accept it. I'm trying to get audience from Ghana here too. That's how this thing works. And if I can do better, if I can grow fast, I need to get all these people on board, people to watch my videos. So till we meet in another video, I'm still your boy Andy Final. Bye bye for now.